Sharing a complex object between processes? I have a fairly complex Python object that I need to share between multiple processes. I launch these processes using multiprocessing.process. When I share an object with multiprocessing.queue and multiprocessing.pipe init, they are shared just fine. But when I try to share an object with other non-multiprocessing module objects, it seems like Python forks these objects. Is that true? I tried using multiprocessing.value. But I'm not sure what the type should be. My object class is called my class. But when I try multiprocess.value my class instance, it fails with type error column. This type has no size. Any idea what's going on?
You can do this using Python's multiprocessing manager classes and a proxy class that you define. See proxy objects in the Python docs. What you want to do is define a proxy class for your custom object, and then share the object using a remote manager. Look at the examples in the same linked doc page in the Using a Remote Manager section, where the docs show how to share a remote queue. You're going to be doing the same thing, but your call to your _manager_instance.register will include your custom proxy class in its argument list. In this manner, you're setting up a server to share the custom object with the custom proxy. Your clients need access to the server. Again, see the excellent documentation examples of how to set up client/server access to a remote queue. But instead of sharing a queue, you are sharing access to your specific class.
After a lot research and testing, I found that Manager does this job at a non-complex object level. The code below shows that object inst is shared between processes, which means property var of inst is changed outside when child process changes it. Okay, above code is enough if you only need to share simple objects. Why no complex? Because it may fail if your object is nested, object inside object. I think the main reason of this behavior is because Manager is just a candy bar built on top of low-level communication tools like pipe/queue. So, this approach is not well recommended for multiprocessing case. It's always better if you can use low-level tools like lock/semaphore/pipe/queue or high-level tools like Redis queue or Redis publish/subscribe for complicated use case. Only my recommendation lol.
In Python 3.6 the docs say, changed in version 3.6, shared objects are capable of being nested. For example, a shared container object such as a shared list can contain other shared objects which will all be managed and synchronized by the sync manager. As long as instances are created through the sync manager, You should be able to make the objects reference each other. Dynamic creation of one type of object in the methods of another type of object might still be impossible or very tricky though. Edit. I stumbled upon this issue: multiprocessing managers and custom classes with Python 3.6.5 and 3.6.7. Need to check Python 3.7. Edit 2. Due to some other issues, I can't currently test this with Python 3.7. The workaround provided in this URL works fine for me.
Here's a Python package I made just for that, sharing complex objects between processes. Get this URL. The idea is you create a proxy for your object and pass it to a process. Then you use the proxy like you have a reference to the original object. Although you can only use method calls, so accessing object variables is done through setters and getters. Say we have an object called example, creating proxy and proxy listener is easy. Now you send the proxy to another process. Use it in the other process as you would use the original object, example. But you do have to listen to it in the main process. Read more and find examples here. This URL.